Yeah, I'm back with another video. Happy New Year. Happy freaking New Year. Peep the Christmas gift. Anyway, but today we have the Arrtx acrylic marker set. Liquid ink, no pumping. You hear that? I'm watching you. You better not be pumping these things. As you can tell, I'm in a different setting. I moved again. What else is new? Ooh, my hands look sickly. Oh! Oh! My bad. What did I tell you? But yes, this brand called Arrtx reached out to me. I think I'm saying that right. They basically make and sell art supplies for those who don't know, if the name isn't evident enough. And they sent me their 36 acrylic marker set. So there's 36 colors in here. And I think one of the key features on this particular set is that it is liquid ink. It's acrylic, so these are paint markers. But you don't have to pump them like you would many other paint marker brands. If you're unfamiliar with paint markers, or you just don't know, a lot of paint markers you have to like kind of push down and pump them to get the ink flowing, because sometimes the paint marker will get dry, or like before you use it for the very first time you have to like activate it by doing that. But with these, it's kind of a convenience thing. You don't have to. You can just pick it up, shake it a little to make sure the ink is nice and shaken up, mixed up, and then just go. Just open it and go. My first impression of these is that they're a little small. You can unscrew the, body of the marker to reveal the cartridge, and it's very small, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're just more of a casual user, but I don't see myself being able to make many, big, super finalized finished pieces with these, just because I would fear that I'd run out midway through, especially if I'd used them many times before. But I don't really see myself doing anything crazy with these, because paint markers aren't necessarily my main medium, although I do love to use them in my sketchbook. That's just something to take into account if you are a paint marker user and you use the hell out of your markers. These might not be good for longevity's sake. The other thing that I noticed during my swatching that I really enjoyed, first of all, I like the amount of colors and the amount of shades that there are in these markers. The amount of greens, very pleased with the amount of greens. I feel like greens tend to get neglected, as well as browns. I find that in a lot of my paint markers, like my paint marker sets that I currently own, there's not a lot of browns, but in this one there was at least 3 browns, and that was just nice. That was nice. I feel like green and brown gets neglected a lot, even though they're like some of my favorite colors. Another thing I noticed that I felt important to point out is that the cap colors actually really match the colors of the ink. This isn't a lot to ask, but for some reason a lot of markers, especially like, normal alcohol markers, just don't get this right. The color on the cap looks almost exactly like the color of the marker with most of these colors, and I just was very satisfied with that. I thought that was really cool. One more thing I did notice, and this is the last thing I'll say on the markers themselves, like appearance-wise, outside of the fact that I really like the way that they look. I think the little flowers on them with the smiley faces are cute, but on the tip of the cartridge, closer to the nib, you can see a little bit of ink that seems like it spilled out of where it's supposed to be, but it didn't make a mess or anything, so I'm thinking it might just look like that. A little bit scary look, but it didn't affect the way that it drew. I just wanted to point it out in case some of you were looking at that and saw that. I noticed it too, but it was fine. It didn't affect it too much. But yeah, I honestly really hate doing swatches. The only reason I do it is so that way I can see what the colors look like before I put them down on the page, and that is it. I can't stand doing them. They're so damn boring. But with that being said, let's get the coloring started. I wasn't brave enough to do a painterly style, so I went with something really graphic and like a lot of sharp lines, sharp edges, a lot of shapes. I like that kind of stuff. But also, I was scared if I got too graphic with it and tried shading too intricately and blending especially, I was scared I'd mess up the markers. And honestly, I think that paint markers, even though I have seen people do some great things with them and like make them look really painterly, I think that they honestly work best for me in really graphic styles, almost like comic book. The colors went on really smooth. I only really had problems with the lighter shades of some of these markers, but I honestly kind of expected that. That's usually kind of the norm for most paint markers I have. It's like the lighter colors are generally going to be a little patchier unless you have like really high quality paint markers, I suppose. But I ain't paying all that money. I don't know about y'all. Not me. But I fully utilized those shades of brown that I was talking about earlier, as well as the various shades of green. I was very happy with the amount of contrast that it gave me, especially with the skin tone and the browns, you know? So nice. So nice. I did mention the price earlier, by the way. These are pretty cost efficient, in my opinion. It's 36 markers for $36. Well, $36.99. So it's just like slightly over $1, like slightly over $1 for each marker, which isn't bad. Like I said, they are kind of small. That's the only thing that I find majorly wrong with them, but it does make for a comfortable grip, so I'm not too upset. And you know, $36, 36 markers, not a bad price. You can get them on Amazon as well as their website, just in case you guys were curious, or if this video made y'all want to go and try them out. You know, I honestly would recommend it from my experience. Back to the drawings themselves. Unfortunately, I was not brave enough to go totally lineless, even though that is more of a graphic style as well. I don't know, I felt like as much as there was a lot of contrast, I didn't have enough markers to fully do a lineless and be happy with it, so I did a lined style, and I really like the way it looks. It honestly looks like digital art, in my opinion. It came out really smooth and really nice, and I was super happy with all the drawings. With the next drawing, I did like a alternative kind of like pink angel lady, and I did go a little bit more ambitious and I guess like risky with the coloring here because I did want to have somewhat more of a rendered look, although the lines are still pretty harsh and I didn't do a lot of blending. I'd say I used some shades that were closer, if that makes any sense, and I tried experimenting a little bit. I don't know if it really translates because it still kind of looks like the other one that I did, but I liked it still. Like I said, I was just so happy with how smooth these colors went on. Like, these things look like digital drawings. Am I wrong? Am I just like gassing them up too much? I don't know. I really liked it, and they layered really well too. I found that out with this drawing. I used this drawing as a means to experiment a little bit as well, and I really liked how this one turned out. I kind of wish I had drawn her a little bigger, I'm not gonna lie. I drew her kind of small over there in the corner by herself, but whatever. Also, on just like a little note that I had a really fun time using the black marker for line art because like I could get like thick lines, thin lines, really good line variation, you know. It was really good for line weight, and I just had a really fun time using it. And here I am just detailing some of her jewelry. Honestly, I think that silver and metal jewelry is just some of my favorite things to render because it's just so fun with all the highlights and shadows and stuff. And here's where I really begin to test these markers and their small cartridges. I did this for you guys, I promise. I wanted to see how it did in covering a large area. It didn't go on as opaque as it did in the other ones, probably because I was pushing it so hard, and I honestly expected that. You can see it's a little patchy. I'm sure another layer might help, but I could kind of feel it getting a little dry. So that wasn't good, but it didn't really matter too much. Like, you can't really tell because I ended up layering other colors over it, so it ended up looking, you know, pretty flat still, pretty graphic, pretty flat. But with this one I tried going with a little bit more of a painterly style. I know I still didn't do much blending, but I tried, you know, doing more naturalistic strokes and such. And by the way, this is a dog off of Pinterest. My girlfriend said it looked like my dog Sissy. I guess I'm just so used to drawing her that any wire hair scrappy dog or any silky hair scrappy dog just kind of turns into her, so the resemblance is unintentional. Just a green dog. You guys know how much I like green dogs. Also, sorry if I was getting my big fat head in the way. I have no spatial awareness whatsoever. I'm really showing off the wide array of greens here. You know, green is my favorite color, like all-time favorite color. I love #certified booger green lover, and this set is no stranger to some booger greens and also some other foresty kind of greens. So I had a really fun time with this dog drawing. I didn't go full-on painterly because I do end up outlining it a little bit with the black, but I still did a little bit more of a rendered style, and I liked the way it turned out. Used some more colors, layered some stuff, took some chances, turned out good. And yeah, after finishing off the dog with some highlights and line art, I went ahead and put the brand new year up in the corner because I had some free space and I didn't know what to do with it. Also, it's 2025. Happy New Year, gang! With that, I am done with my first coloring, I think, of the new year. I don't remember if I've done anything else yet, but this is my first video of the new year. I started putting some stickers on it to finish the drawing and make it my own. You guys know how much I love stickers. I'm constantly criticized by my haters for my sticker use, my haters being my girlfriend. JK. She's supportive of me and my sticker endeavors, because I share with her. I also found out that I drew this upside down, so we're off to a great start. But yeah, here's the final drawing. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys like watching the process. I really recommend these markers. I'm not even gonna lie. I liked using them. I think that you might too, if you're anything like me. I'm not trying to sell it too hard. They're not paying me to make this. They did send these free. They did send these to me for free. But that is just my honest opinion. I'll see you guys in the outro. So, what are my final thoughts? I like them. I like them a lot. I'm a little scared about the size of the markers, because it's like, I use a lot of paint, y'all. I use a lot of markers, so I feel like this will run out really easy. I thought that the coverage was pretty good, except for on some of the lighter colors, but that's honestly to be expected. I haven't found too many lower end paint markers that do good with light color coverage. That was a sentence. Probably just gonna use them for like sketches and like doodles and stuff, not like super big works, because I just feel like they'll run out really easily. Anyway, the only other major concern that I had was I did notice that there was a little bit of feathering on the brush nib. You know, it kind of got like less sharp and kind of started to feather out a little bit. That, for the ones that I was using a lot, that could just be me, because I have a really heavy hand, I always have, but it is something to note if you also have a heavy hand, because I've only used them once and I already noticed a little bit of a change. Outside of that, I like them. I might just have to use them for like smaller illustrations and doodles like I did today. I'm gonna give them 4 out of 5 winter hats for this one. Yeah. If you stuck around this long, it must mean you really like me and you want to hear about my life. So I'll give you a little bit more of an update here, okay? I moved back in with my girlfriend. You got a problem with that? Huh? She lets me leave. I want to introduce a new member of my life and the channel, because I force all the animals to be a part of my channel. This is Juno. I picked her up like this. Look at her tail. I'm gonna set her back down. I just wanted to introduce you guys to her. She is 100% alive and not dead. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. I am working with another brand that I've worked with before in the past, so I will be inclined to finish another video. And I hope to see you later. You guys didn't even get to see the lights. I was gonna make a aesthetic, calming intro and outro to this video, and you couldn't even see the freaking lights behind me.